Last man standing? Impossible odds? Let's do this!
This is the Clucked Chickens, a podcast about Realm Royale. Welcome everybody to the Clucked Chickens. I am OctoOG. To one side we have Donut, and to the other, special guest Gentle Giant. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
Oh man, welcome. And what in the name of God are you wearing, Donut?
I am a professional gamer.
Okay.
This is normal.
Okay, then I'm gonna turn the other way. What's going on, Gentle? How we doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Doing good.
Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for showing up tonight. I know you had a crazy night last night.
Insane. Actually insane.
So for those of you who are under rocks and weren't available for Gentle Giant stream last night, it was something to behold. But we'll talk about that later. So how is everybody's week on the realm this week?
Fun.
Good.
Hey?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this patch. That's to say the least.
This patch, one of the worst things about putting together a podcast is having everything prepped, ready, sitting down, getting everything nice and pretty, and then an hour beforehand you have to do everything redo because they come out with a new patch notes. Yeah. But it was actually good. I'm really loving what has come out of this PTS. It looks like it's going to be very interesting if we can play it later, but that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight into this because we've got a lot to go through. We were just going to be talking about strats this week, but since we do have some PTS, we wanted to sort of talk about it. So let's jump right into it. What we're going to be talking about this week is patch notes for the PTS. We're just going to go over fairly quickly about what's going on, our ideas of how that's going to affect the game. We're going to talk about just the overall about this. Then we're going to jump into classes, and we're going to let Donut and Giant, they're pretty much going to take over this podcast. You know, I'm here for the good looks, they're here for the brains. So what will go on, we'll talk about the classes, the weapons, the abilities, and some strategies, and really get into what makes it, as a good player, what abilities do you pick, what weapons do you pick, what class based on these, and what combinations. And once you do that, where do you really drop on a map? So I really want to pick these guys' brains so you guys can become, better Realm players in general. And then we'll talk about some Realm community stuff, and then we'll jump into some future updates and then run out of here. So first things first, they've got a really cool new Frost graveyard from what I'm hearing. It's beautiful. Nobody can see it right now. We can't get onto the PTS right now. We've been trying, but as I said, once we do it, we'll show it next week. But from what we're hearing, it's a really nice new place. So, but we'll see that next week. So I guess the big things to go. Donut, Gentle. I'm gonna let you guys go on these two because I know you guys have some really solid opinions about this. So what do you think?
You want to start? Or you want me to start?
I'll start. I mainly want to start because two things. I mean, I don't know, Gentle. I know we have too much. I main assassin, if you don't know. I know you generally choose warrior, correct?
And hunter now.
I'm becoming a hunter, man. Yeah.
Good for you for leaving the warrior the wagon. I'm glad. But as an assassin, the Venom Pistol changes and the Heirloom Rifle changes kind of like 50-50 with me. I love the Venom Pistol. I love that they're trying to make it something that's not a meme. I would like to see the Venom Pistol actually be a viable weapon, and in some cases it is, but it was more of a meme weapon in my opinion. But I'm glad they're working on it still, trying to make it a little bit better. And the heirloom rifle is a big deal for me. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, if I like the projectile and over hit scan. I feel like heirloom's been the heirloom for so long. It's gonna be one of those things. It's gonna be a hard change to get adjusted to. But the rest of the weapons that they're changing, I like the bolt staff. I can't wait to try out. But those are my two main opinions on the assassin weapons. Then I'll let you take it over.
Well, just real quick on the Venom pistol, I think it's being taken out of common and rare is huge.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
finding a common,
always
finding Venom pistols is the worst feeling in the world. So, and I think a huge issue with it has been that a lot of the shots no reg from the Venom pistol. So, I don't know, maybe this is a change that is happening without them saying it. Because if they do fix that, plus a 7.5% damage increase, that weapon is actually going to be strong.
Dude, the legendary fire element poison pistol will be ridiculously strong.
Yes, it will be insane.
All that tick damage at once.
I'm going to be running if I see an assassin with that thing. I swear.
And then the heirloom, I'm kind of right there with you. I just feel like I'm okay with there being hit scan in the game, but I think the heirloom right now is too strong.
Yeah.
I think all it needed was maybe a little bit more damage fall off at range. I don't know what the change should be, but I think making it projectile might be a little bit too different. It makes it more like the slug, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I have one thing about the heirloom about not being a hit scan. When we were playing on different servers, like European versus US, you got a hit scan weapon so you could be somewhat viable on that server. Else not, like, you can't use any other projectile weapon and actually live. And I'm thinking this is going to be very difficult for people.
Yeah, that's very true. I was playing EU all morning this morning, and I had to only use an heirloom. So now there's no heirloom. I just might not even play when there's no NAQs.
Just look for revolvers.
Yeah, I guess so. I get one weapon. So the bolt staff, I think it's huge.
Yeah.
So something that you guys don't know, you might not know, the bolt staff, the mage hasn't been getting their 20% damage increase on that. Yep. So now they actually are. So mages are actually going to do 25% more damage with this bolt staff, and they rework the damage fall off.
Yeah.
And you can now find common and rare.
Now you find common and rare.
I think this thing's going to be really strong. I really do.
Yeah.
Which is going to buff mage even more.
Yeah, like that needed. We don't need Idiot Mouse having another reason to be yelling at the mages. Just saying. But now I do like this heavy crossbow no longer has damage fall off. That is huge.
I don't think it ever should have had damage fall off for the type of weapon that they're trying to make with it, being a slower, a slower firing weapon than the crossbow. I think the heavy crossbow should have been meant to be used like almost like a ballista, like a long range crossbow. Obviously not as strong as the longbow, but stronger than the regular crossbow. So I think the damage fall off should have never been that in the first place.
But that's exactly my issue is why would I use the heavy crossbow over the longbow? And with the damage the heavy crossbow does, why would I use that over the normal crossbow or a slug close range?
Yeah.
So I mean I think it's a cool change, but I still think the heavy crossbow isn't good. And I think it's a good weapon, but it's not preferred.
Yeah, they have to increase the damage.
Yeah, I would pick up if I found two crossbows of the same rarity, I would pick up a regular crossbow over a heavy crossbow every time.
Yeah.
Now the stone staff, I'm sad because that was the only way I could not be carried in a game. You give me one of these things that I could actually play properly. This 6% is going to be monstrous. Ugh.
I think it's well deserved.
It's true. It's true.
I think it could have done what 10% would be nice.
Yeah.
You're probably right. But we will see how this plays once we get on the PTS and how it when it gets dropped probably later on this week. But those are the weapon updates, and I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be good. I do not think they're going to keep the heirloom I think it'll go back to a hit scan. I really think they will. It's just my personal opinion, but we will see. So, Gentle, I don't know. We make predictions a lot in this podcast, and the big one that Donut made last week was this one. Go ahead, Donut. It's yours. It's yours, buddy.
Yeah. Well, pretty much I made a big deal last week because I'm Assassin, and they released this really awesome, cool looking and sounding movement ability that slows you down. So I was like, okay, this is kind of, let me try it. Maybe I'm like super invisible or something. And I used it, and I was like, well, this is stupid. This is terrible. It was so bad. With the 50% reduced speed, I couldn't understand why it was even in the game as a movement ability, let alone any ability. But now that they at least, I'm gonna go out and say that they listened to me alone, just me. They heard the podcast and said, you know what, Donut, he's a good guy. I like him. Let's take his word for it and let's change it. So they changed it. You're welcome, all assassins in Realm Royale. They changed it, so now it's the same as it was before, but you don't lose. You run at normal sprint speed, so you're not moving any slower. So now you can actually go invisible and move away or flank somebody instead of going invisible and moving 3 feet to the left. So it's much better. I can't wait to get in there and try it. I still don't think it's going to be worth scrapping Blink, but it'll be better than nothing in early game if you can't find anything else. It won't be an anchor, because otherwise when you picked it up before, you might as well just not use it because it didn't do anything. It didn't help you at all.
I think it's basically a bad version of Withdraw.
Exactly.
Even with this new change.
Yep.
So I think if you want to keep this ability in the game, I don't even like, maybe you can give them a speed boost.
Yeah. That's what I think it should be. I believe it should be a speed boost, and like really be able to get from one place to another very fast without anybody seeing you at all. Like, you disappear, gone. No, even if you're really close to the person, this is an assassin ability gone by. And I think that's but we have to try it. I mean, we haven't tried it yet.
It's gonna be hard to change it in a certain way that doesn't make it too much like Ghost Walk or too much like Blink or Withdraw, because they don't want identical abilities. So I think maybe even keeping the duration short, but the movement speed like super fast for a second, where you slip into the shadows for a couple seconds and you run off invisible, kind of like Withdrawal does with its backwards roll. That could be a change for it, but we'll have to mess with it and see how it acts.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So this afternoon we have some bug fixes that came to town, and there's a lot of little bug fixes, but I think the really big ones that came out are the issues with our friends list, how you had to constantly type people's names in, you couldn't get people through Steam. That one, those two were kind of bad, and I'm glad that they finally fixed it. They broke it somehow when they were making the updates, and now it's fixed. The one that I'm happy, and this is the one I did, the collision issues with environments and buildings. I'm really hoping that the ones where you like go around the corner upstairs and you when you're up the towers, I mean, I don't ever want to hear that sound again, High Res. I mean, I love you guys, Epic Leap, I love you guys all, but if I never hear again, I will be the happiest person. Is there any other bug fixes here that you guys are really happy to see? Well, I think there's the other one where where class bonuses weren't always being applied. This one, it's kind of sneaked in there, but yeah.
I think that's the biggest one, definitely.
Yeah,
I agree.
Where weren't always being applied, is they weren't applied.
Yeah, they weren't applied at all. So
there was like for example, the mage with the bolt staff.
I cannot wait to try a mage with that. I mean, you're gonna stand in front of somebody and just open up, and it's just gonna go and they're
you
just
don't have to reload it.
Yeah, it's just gonna make people go whoom.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like the Venom pistol, when the Venom pistol was bugged in like early alpha, when it would unload all the ammo at once.
No, it's gonna be. I can't wait to try it. I can't wait to try it. So another thing that jumped into the PTS is the tutorials. Now, when you jump right in, you've only got solos and you only have tutorials. they know this. They know they don't have duos and squads because there's just not enough people on the PTS. Heck, there's not even enough people to really get a solo game going right now. But the tutorials are live, and that gives me a little bit of hope here, because if tutorials are live, consoles are coming soon. Bar none, it's coming soon. Because you wouldn't worry about getting a tutorial in if you weren't ready for a lot of new players to come in. So, and Giant, I know, so a lot of people know Giant does stream with the Realm channel, and he does get little bits, so we're not going to try and pick you and trying to get you to say something that you shouldn't. But I've been saying pretty much over the last bit that it's coming either the end of this month or it's coming at HRX. One of those two things are going to happen, and this is pretty much a sign pointing straight there. You don't have to say a word, Gentle. Go ahead, Donut.
Yeah, I agree. With obviously putting a tutorial in is definitely a big hint that we're going to be getting consoles shortly or soon. Which I kind of, at this point, I really hope they do it sooner rather than later. Yeah. It would be very nice to have the population boost, and that could probably make them get rid of timers altogether.
And we'll get more drag streams.
Not like this, dude. Not like this. Yeah, I don't have any extra info on that. I mean, my guess is as good as you guys. My guess is what I tell people is by the end of this month. I'm assuming it'll come by the end of this month.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's just it's that or HRX. HRX would actually be the best time to do it, especially because they're doing a developer forum about the game. So bringing out the battle pass and the consoles and a date then I think would just be amazing. But just my opinion. So really quickly on the tutorials, basically what they do is they give you run through the building, pick up a weapon, open a chest, shoot some people, reload, go around, get an ability, use your ability, get on your horse, ride around, get in and skydive and land, and then they go, thank you very much. Would you like to skydive again or return to your lobby? Okay. So that's the tutorial. It's nothing gigantic, but it's a nice little packaged place that, for a beginner, it's really amazing. But, okay, there's a gigantic but here, and this has been dry. I've been wanting to tell Gentle and Donut this all day since this came out. I accidentally broke the test server, and I found a way to free roam this new map that they've made. See, when you jump, this map, it's a quarter of the size of the regular map that we have in Realm Royale. And it's only got little smaller worlds combined in it. And what ends up happening is if you look right here, this is the bones, this is swamp, this right here is fungal forest, this is the swamp right here. Looks to me, because if they were doing this just for the tutorial, okay, I do not believe that they would have made an entire new map just to drop somebody down and do it. They just put them on the big map and drop them. This is an entire world that you can run around, and it's actually completely made. I broke it and was able to run around, because what they do is once you land, you get here and you can't do anything. You land, boom. Okay, that was your skydive. But I found a way to actually break it and free roam the map, and I was able to run the entire map around. And from this point, you can see there's fungal forest, there's this, everything is right here, and it's a 1/4 map. So what it looks like to me is they are making a smaller map for quicker gameplay.
Huh.
That's possible.
That's interesting.
Because
I didn't even think about that.
Or maybe a map for 50-player lobbies instead
50
of
player, yeah, exactly. This is a much smaller game. There's only a place for 4 forges. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have you guys start talking. I'm going to run through the tutorial while you guys are talking really fast while you go. And I'm going to give you guys a view of the free run that I can do throughout the entire map. And we will actually look at the map. You see there's no snow, there's no desert, there's nothing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is, but it does look like a completely built out mini map that they've built.
Yeah, I would. My biggest guess would be because it's definitely not a new map per se, because it's using all the same assets.
Condensed.
Yeah, it's using all the same
they've
assets,
condensed
so-
it. They've moved stuff around, but they've also, I mean, this was well done, and I'll show you guys because
Yeah.
they made pathing around so that you could actually run up from fungal forest down to the water. There's places where you can actually fall into the water and die. So they really, this is, I mean, very detailed put together. It's not broken.
Yeah, what that leads me to believe even more that they went to that much detail. That is just not for the tutorial. So there's definitely something.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think it's definitely going to be used for something in the future, whether it be smaller queue lobbies or faster
Completely
game
new
lobbies.
game mode, maybe.
Completely new game mode.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember what they did with PUBG? They made that smaller map where, you know, everybody dropped in and it was just like a massacre zone.
If they make my SWAT game mode, I said like 4 episodes ago, I'm gonna sue them. That was my idea.
Yeah, I've always said, like, I know this has never happened in a BR game, but like instance PvP, so like you get in a team, like you load into the game, and you already like, you know, you fight it out.
Right.
I don't know if that's something they would do, but that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it was weird because when I was going through it, I looked at, when I jumped, you're not really supposed to pay attention to this map. You're not. You're just supposed to jump, land, and end it. When I got in there, I was able to run this entire map from all the way down here, all the way up and around, and it is a perfect map. So, but then, as I said, I don't know what I just wanted to see what you guys would think about it, because the look at both eyes went out and went, wait, what? Because if you look, this island up here that's where the tutorial zone is done.
Oh, okay.
They could have just put it off to the regular one, so there's no reason to make this map. That's a lot of work to make this map.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's all. That's my brain blowing thing. But yeah, like I walked into here, there was no forge actually in some of these places. It was just interesting. So, what we'll go now is let's go to Strat Talk. Okay, so this is what we really wanted to talk about today. One of the reasons why we really wanted to get Giant here, why we wanted to get Donut. I wanted you guys to talk about your strategies, and right now, what do you think the best class is? Why do you think that? Who do you want to play? What loadout do you want to go? And start from there. So I'm going to just drop it onto Warrior, and you guys tell me what do you guys think about this?
I have a opinion that's not popular. I think Hunter is stronger than Warrior right now.
Wow.
I think Warrior can be easily outplayed, in my opinion. Ever since I started playing Hunter, I haven't had issues with Warrior. That being said, I think Mage is the best possible class, but that's very reliant on what they get during the game.
Circumstantial.
Right? Exactly. Like Mage needs to get their Stone Spear, Mage needs a good sword, Mage needs an Ice Block, whatever else they want, right? I think this new Bolt staff change might make Mage consistently the best class.
Yeah, no, it definitely could. Let the music go. If you hear the music, guys, I'm just loading the game. I'm going to turn it down just right now.
And the axe is too strong, in my opinion, and that everybody thinks that, right? The axe is too strong. I think the way you fix axe is you make it take 3 axes and a leap, or 4 axes to kill somebody. Right now, it only takes 2 axes and a leap to kill somebody. But the reason why I think Hunter is better is leap is very easily avoidable. And before a warrior gets close to me to use their axe, most of the time I'm able to hit them at least once with my bow. If I withdraw, that's another free bow shot. They're already almost dead. I've got my other weapon to finish them off, and I can dodge their leap. So I think at a high level, Hunter is stronger than Warrior, but I think Warrior is a lot more noob friendly and it is very strong, in my opinion.
You know, I've seen that, and I've actually seen you play that way, and it's very interesting to watch. I know that there's a lot of back and forth between you and a lot of the other streamers, but to be 100% honest, I'm seeing you play that way, and it looks like it's the truth. But go ahead, Giant. I mean, Donut. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I actually agree with a lot that Giant said. based off of when you could use your withdrawal as a hunter to counter their heroic leap and that kind of stuff. That's more definitely leaning more towards the high end gameplay and the competitive nature.
Right.
So I'm going to kind of try to base it all up as an overall general assumption. And what I would say is, yes, at high end skilled gameplay, that could be very possible for a hunter or even assassin, in my opinion, to outplay a warrior.
Yeah.
I mean, technically every class could be outplayed, but it's all about the player at that point.
Exactly.
But as you said, the mage, as you said, the mages, I also agree, and I also think the assassin can be more powerful based on circumstance. For example, an assassin with the hit scan frost heirloom rifle is
Insane.
almost unstoppable at mid range.
Right.
But then again, if that assassin got a venom pistol instead of the heirloom rifle, and then the warrior pounces on him, I think the warrior has much more powerful tools in their arsenal that they have a much higher chance of getting a decent loadout faster than everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
It's the same thing with the hunter too. That's why I think hunter and warrior because they're more consistent.
Yeah,
So
if a warrior crafts an axe, or if a warrior crafts a hammer, at this point, it's kind of like, okay, well, they're both pretty strong weapons in different scenarios. Whereas even an assassin, my old argument before they actually nerfed axes a while ago or adjusted them a little bit was that I'm an assassin. If I have a sniper rifle and I shoot one shot at you, I hit you, I body you, and I have to reload. In the time it takes me to reload, 90% of the time, any warrior could heroic leap half the distance to me, whereas at least in throwing axe distance. That should be adjusted. That's what I think was the most the hardest way to fight as an assassin, fight a warrior, because they could close that giant distance. Whatever distance you have to shoot them, they could close that extremely fast.
Yeah.
And once you get into that distance, the warrior obviously has the arsenal to kill the assassin. At that point, you have to be a highly skilled player to outplay the warrior in close range. So that's why I think the warrior overall has a better early to mid game loadout than all the other classes, because the warrior isn't as reliant on circumstance or luck on what he crafts and finds.
Right. I think it's a scary thing with warrior because that's what the class is all about, right? It's about getting in your face. It's about up close fighting. So if you nerf that too much, like before, when leap, you could leap super far, right? And you also did damage. And then they nerfed that. And then warrior was really bad for a while.
Yeah.
Like really bad. I still played it, but it was really bad. And then they brought the damage back. Honestly, I think the way you really help warrior is you nerf the axe a little bit. Obviously not too much. If you nerf it too much, it's unusable. But you take damage off of leap, and then you just give them their distance back. But you have to nerf axe in order for that to happen.
Yeah,
because then you make it easier for them to get close to you. And
exactly. Yeah, the axe could do with a little less damage, or a much heavier drop off maybe. If the hammer could be used as a mid to long range or mid range weapon, I mean at this point it's unlimited range, then the axe should be extremely close range in my opinion, like only a little bit further than the sword.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, the one thing, I mean, even if you give him distance, the warrior's mobility is pretty much the worst in the game.
Oh yeah. Easy.
So I mean, he's not very mobile, and giving him that damage was, sort of to take away from that. If they maybe half the damage and maybe gave him a little bit more distance, because I really think they need to keep the damage.
Yeah.
See, the big problem here, and that is right, they do have the shortest mobility in the game, most likely. The difference is, the problem is, now this is from an assassin point of view, I'm trying to snipe people from as far away as possible. The average distance of interactions or fights that are initiated, like for example, me just walking randomly in between the towns, not inside of a forge, not crafting, not inside of a town looting, just out in the open, the majority of those fights are, even the furthest fights, you might get one sniper shot off before he could jump to you within 5 seconds. because of the way the game is, the way the clipping
environment
works and-
is and stuff like that as well.
Exactly. The longest range fights really aren't that long for a sniper. I mean, they're long enough, but for having a bolt action sniper compared to someone who could just heroic leap, and then by the time he heroic leap, I think any class using a movement ability except for Soar should not get anywhere between half the distance to you at your max range.
Right, exactly. No, I agree.
I've talked with some people, and we come up with an idea that I don't know if this would actually work or not, but a huge reason why the axe and the hammer are so good is because of the spam. And you can constantly throw. You don't have to reload. You can hold somebody behind a corner because you're constantly throwing those, right?
Yeah.
And so an idea that we came up with is giving them stamina. Like you can chuck 6 axes in a row, and then you have to gain your stamina back. Like 3 seconds, you can't throw.
Or make the stamina bar sort of like how they do already in Paladins, where it goes up like what's it, the guy with the 2 pistols?
Koga.
Yeah, Koga. How it goes up, and then you, with how big you have it, it'll reduce it, then bring it back up.
Yep.
Reduce it. I think that would be a perfect way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be a really good idea.
See, High Res, you come here for ideas. We've got them for you, bud.
There's no way a warrior hammer further than my sniper shoot this bullet.
Okay, so we've talked about classes there, and I think that's fairly straightforward. Let's talk about basically your everyday common weapons, like the ones that you normally see when you start the game off. You don't see the gold and the purple, but they happen every once in a while. What I'd really like to get from you guys is, in a gray versus a green, let's just say gray versus green to start off with, what weapons would you want to have in your arsenal, no matter what class you are, just in general? What ones would you pick? Or does it depend on what class you have? It's just sort of a question, because you guys all know I'm a very casual gamer. I like the heirloom, but I like the damage that the slug does. So if the only way I will switch, I normally will have a gray slug up until I find a green heirloom or better. And a lot of people say, no, you should get an heirloom immediately, blah, 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 if you're an assassin. So what is your thoughts on these type of weapons, Gentle? Well, I'll start with you.
Every class, I'm always told, like, I love getting a slug. Unless I'm assassin. If I have been playing a little bit of assassin lately. If I'm an assassin, I'm prioritizing heirloom over everything.
Definitely.
Heirloom is so strong right now, especially on assassin. But other than that, like if I'm on hunter, if I find a slug, I'm happy. Like I run bow slug most of the time. By the way, bow is also a common ability that is very common right now.
Yeah, they didn't actually have the new images yet on the Nash. We got to update some of the things in the content folder, but
the bow is very popular right now.
Right.
And obviously, if on a hunter, I want that 100%. On an assassin, I want heirloom 100%. On a warrior, obviously, I don't only want a sword. But if I can find a slug and a sword is actually extremely strong early on. Yeah. Extremely strong.
It's murder town.
I think a lot of it is dependent on what class you're playing. But I don't think you can go wrong like with the slug. I think it's very good on every class. Revolver, a lot of it is personal preference too, I think.
Do you use a shotgun ever?
I rarely use a shotgun. I will use a shotgun, but I rarely use it.
Donut, how about you? What's your thoughts?
I never use a shotgun just about, but I also never use a sword, and that's actually a very good weapon. So that's just me. But my overall thoughts, I even before the perks came out for the classes, I usually went heirloom slug, but I would take an heirloom over a slug, and I still would do that now, especially with assassin and the perks we get. I just liked the faster firing speed, although did less damage. I did like the faster firing speed, and I love the hit scan. The slug is always good for landing those heavy shots and doing lots of damage. But I don't have any negative effects with the slug. It's more of a personal preference between me,
right?
Heirloom and slug, just like most of these weapons are. So if I were to choose 2 weapons as a primary and secondary, it'd be probably the heirloom and a crossbow. I've always loved the crossbow. I love the firing. I love the high rate of fire speed it has, and the damage it does at pretty close range is pretty strong, as well as its hitbox. I feel like the crossbow's hitbox, the arrow's hitbox, is much larger than any other bullet in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Exactly. So I do love the revolver. That's a great weapon, but I think overall I would take heirloom and crossbow until I got to the my class weapons, and then I would obviously take dual venom pistols.
Yeah.
Yes.
I when I first started playing the game, I was heirloom and pistol. It was always that way because I was a beginner player. I was trying to this aiming thing, which is still sometimes a problem, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
But I had problem with this whole aiming thing, this like waiting for the projectile to get there. So I was like, heirloom and a pistol, I could get there, I could get in. And then I started moving to the crossbow because it felt like it got there faster, so my aiming felt a little better. I did not like the slug rifle. I hated it because I could not get used to that boom, boom. It just felt wrong.
Yeah.
But once I started putting it in my hands and really seeing the damage it did and learning about, like, you know, what I can do with this, I also started moving to the slug, and I'll keep a gray slug over like a lot of weapons these days. So, but yeah. So now, if you're a mage, with the new updates that are coming out, do you think you're going to be going after this lightning staff right off the bat?
I think so, dude. I think it's gonna be good.
Oh yeah, especially that it's coming out in rare and common tier. It's gonna be like, you know, the longbow and the hunter right now.
Yeah,
Yep. Very strong, really.
I'm really terrified of this weapon. I mean, I've been memeing and hating it. I mean, we all call it free shards when we when like, oh look, free shards, boom. But the lightning staff is, I think it's just going to be. I can't even imagine what a green one is going to be doing. I mean, with 25% more damage, no loading, and this thing just constantly spamming at somebody, and you could pretty much just spray this thing.
Yeah,
it's gonna hurt.
And, I mean, they also fixed the damage fall. Well, they didn't fix it, but they changed the damage fall off range, so it does. Before it was like, if they were like 5 feet in front of you, you're already doing like 40 damage to that thing.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Hopefully, it's like this weapon could be absolutely insane on mage.
Yeah, I can't wait. Please get the server up. We want to try and jump on after this, guys. We want to have some fun. So now you guys are in the forge. You just got there. You've got your whatever class you are. What are you hoping for?
You want to go first this time, Dammit?
Yeah. If I'm crafting, what am I hoping for first? It depends on what I'm crafting. If I'm crafting an ability, obviously I would love to have legendary blink, and that's assuming I picked up a movement cooldown rune, so I can blink forever. I don't need to mount up ever. But if I'm making weapons, I would definitely want the heirloom first because it's way more versatile over the sniper rifle. Although the sniper rifle is my baby, the heirloom is just outperforming almost anything. And if you get the frost heirloom, you have a strong advantage to win almost any firefight you can get in. The frost heirloom and the concussion bomb tends to polish almost anybody off I've fought. But yeah, that's what I would go. Heirloom rifle definitely first.
What about you, Giant?
As a warrior, axe 100%. As a mage, stone spear 100%. As an assassin, heirloom 100%. And as a hunter, a longbow 100%. But the nice thing is, as a warrior, I'm still totally fine with getting a hammer.
Oh yeah, no joke.
And I'm actually okay with getting a sword too. As a hunter, I'm totally chill with getting a crossbow. Heavy crossbow, with these new changes, like it'll be okay now, right?
Right.
Assassin, hopefully, poison pistol will be decent. Like you don't.
I didn't put the poison pistol and the swords on here because we know how they were sitting like over here. But like for me, I agree 100%. I want that stone spear. The hammer, I'm sorry, that hitbox for that hammer is terrible. I just do not like it because you've got a hammer that's this big and it hits a spot like that.
Yeah.
I mean, reduce the damage, let it hit that hitbox like that, because I also had to change my reticle on the thing to red, because if it's white, you can't see it when you're throwing the hammer because of the big white blur that goes by. So I just haven't been able to get. I want the hammer to do this, not however the heck he throws like this. I don't know.
Sidearm, dude.
Yeah. I don't know how, because you don't see this wind up like this. You just see this like woof, woof. I just, there's something wrong with the hammer right now, and I just, like, it was supposed to be a boomerang. It was supposed to do a lot of other things. I think they put it in like this. I think it's not finished. That's my belief. I think they're going to have the boomerang hammer later, but it just feels like this thing goes way too far, way too fast, way too small of a hitbox. I think they put it in there just to have it in there, and they're going to fix it later. My personal opinion.
I still think. Go ahead. I still think that they put with it working with the boomerang effect, and they messed up a line of code, and they just don't say it.
I think that's what the heavy crossbow is too. I think it's just a placeholder for the short bow, because they were talking about the short bow too. So
yeah, I agree. I think these two are two placeholders right now, and I think they will be getting better. Okay, so this is the one where before this patch today, I don't think it would be as controversial, but now that we don't know exactly what the Assassin's Hidden really does, like before, basically I was going to make this and make it disappear because it's not really even a movement ability. That wasn't even going to be on here, but now that we're talking about it, we don't know how it works. But as a warrior, okay, I'm going to give you Warrior and Hunter. Gentle, what are the abilities that you want first?
Warrior, every class, do not take charge. Charge is a never take.
Right.
But definitely leap. And then my personal preference, the ability's not there, but the healing shout.
Yeah, this is what that is. It doesn't have it in the thing. Yes, this is supposed to be healing shout. Correct.
Okay. Every ability on the warrior is insane. The healing shout is insane. The shielding shout is potentially even more insane. I take the healing shout if I have the healing rune.
Right.
If I don't have the healing rune, I take the shielding shout. The legendary net is basically an immobilization.
Oh god.
And it has a 2-second cooldown. So every single ability is insane, but I think for my preferred setup, if I say I have no runes, I'm taking the shielding aura with leap. And then Hunter, it depends on my weapons. If I'm running longbow, then I'm using withdraw. If I'm running like slug crossbow or slug axe, then I'm using roll. And then for my other abilities, my favorite one is flare. And then the other two are amazing, but I'll definitely take flare over everything.
How about you, Donut?
For assassin, I would still take blink over hidden. I would obviously got to mess around with hidden, see how it works now. I'm sure hidden has its own specific uses and times it'll be better. But overall, I think blink is the choice, no matter what. Abilities wise, it kind of depends on what I'm armed with. If I have an heirloom or a sniper rifle, I would generally go with concussion bomb, just because I like getting the montage clips, sniping people out of the air. but maybe I mean, sentry is a never take for me, at least. I don't know if anyone else would ever uses it, unless I absolutely need it and I have nothing else. I would take it, but I would never use sentry otherwise. Smoke bomb would be good, circumstantial. If you want to get an extra shot off in a firefight, maybe get away a little bit for a flank, something like that. But I mean, maybe hidden concussion bomb and then blink and smoke screen could be a cool different combination, so you still get the best of both worlds with the invis. But in a perfect world, I would say blink, concussion bomb, and then I honestly, I'm gonna say this only because I don't really but I'm gonna say it because I play assassin.
Doesn't
I
play.
think
Sorry. He muted out. Doesn't play mage that much.
I don't play mage that much. But if I were to play mage, I probably might be one of the only unpopular opinions that would take Ghostwalk over Sword at endgame, because I just love the ability to disengage from a fight and re-engage whenever you want. Because I when I play in a firefight, for example, I use my abilities or my abilities for that matter as an aggressor, where instead of using my blink to try to blink away if I get in trouble, I'll blink midway during this firefight to make them miss their shot, allowing me to land one extra shot because they didn't expect me to blink, or I'll blink right on top of them. I use it as a flanking maneuver and not as a getaway. So that's why I like Ghostwalk over Soar. I mean, the legendary Soar, you do fly extremely fast, so it's kind of hard to get hit, but still, maybe it's the assassin in me, but I like Ghostwalk over Soar.
Now I like playing the mage because I believe she allows you to make more mistakes than any other class. You can escape with the sword. You can run away with the ghost walk. You can put yourself in this the ice block. You can heal yourself. You can put this wall up between you. So as not as good of player as you guys, I need to find a way to get out of a situation that I put myself in. And those abilities for me, like Mage's Sword right now, I'm taking it on almost every character.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are doing.
Yeah, and people are getting mad about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind standing on top of a mushroom and shooting people. I'm safe right now. But I really do believe that the Eevee class, which I like to call it now, since we've been playing a lot of paladins, so Eevee has become one of my favorite characters, and the mage is basically Eevee. Mm-hmm. I really like Soar. A legendary ice block I'll take. Give it to me, please. And then load me up with a stone spear and a frost spear, and I think I'm the happiest person. So now go ahead. Sorry.
I think the legendary sword is too good of an ability. And the reason being is you can play as aggressive as you want. You can make the dumbest play you want. Jump in there, go super aggro. If you think you're gonna die, you just fly away and go heal up and go fight him again. It's so forgiving, and I think that's way too good.
It is way too good. I mean, I actually flew from the farthest building in Fungal Forest all the way into the forge. In the middle. I was like, how far can I go? And I kept going, and I made it onto the ledge and was able to walk into the forge. I was like, okay, even if I'm saying it's broken and I love this thing, I think we could do a little bit to this ability.
Yeah, the distance you could cover with it is just ridiculous. It's crazy. You're never gonna kill a mage your first time fighting them if they have legendary Soar and it's not on a cooldown, which it most likely won't be during your firefight, because they're gonna get low on health. They're just gonna soar and just be gone.
Yeah, exactly.
They're too fast to even get hit more than one shot, and they're gone too far. You're not gonna chase them even if you mount up.
Right, exactly. So now I know, Donut, you probably have to leave here in a couple seconds. Are you still good?
Yeah, I got about 2 more minutes.
Okay, cool. So then I'll ask you guys. I'll ask you first, Donut, and then you can run away, and then Gentle and I will finish this up. Where do you want to drop?
My preferred location.
Now, wait. Where do you want to drop if you want to play a long game, versus where do you want to drop if you want to do a hot battle?
If you want to play a long game, I would drop in the northwest of the map, anywhere in that northwest biome. Pretty much. I think the whole northern side of the map is barely ever, if not ever, used.
Except for crossing.
Crossing, yeah, and was that Old Manor?
Yeah.
Those are maybe the only 2 exceptions. So for a long game, if you want a long game, not too many fights, or you want to try to live as long as possible, the north is probably the best choice for you. If you want to get into the action, again, depending, this is all circumstantial based on where the circle is, but the south, anywhere in the south. Fungal Forest is a hot spot. Sentinel's a hot spot.
What's happened with autumn? Could somebody please tell me that?
It's spicy, dude. A lot of people drop there.
Super spicy.
I'm loving. I've been dropping the bones, and I'm loving the firefights I'm getting in early game at the big dinosaur bones there next to autumn. I've noticed a lot of Jade Gardens has gone a lot more passive since they fixed the topography. I don't barely ever fight there as often as I do fungal or lumber.
Really?
Yeah, I don't fight there too much.
Yeah, that's Gentle's new favorites. Like, because Gentle, what you don't know is when the game first came out, I had done a pathing from down here at the lower map across this place and up here to the forge where you would be completely loaded. But a lot of people went there. Once they started doing randomization of the chests and they flattened it, I have found also that it's just not as many people.
Really?
I know you like that's like your favorite place now, correct?
Yeah, I drop there almost every game.
If anybody wants to stream snipe Gentle, just land right.
Oh, it already
here.
happens enough. It already happens enough, dude.
I used to drop a Jade almost every time. If now a forges, wherever the forges are, that's random. But my favorite spot to land is either the bones or just north of the bones, which is the very western side of Fungal. That little outcrop of buildings. I love landing there too and working my way into Fungal. But I love getting into firefights and action as soon as possible.
Outstanding. Okay, well, I know you're probably gonna run donuts, so it was great having you, and we'll see you in the next time.
Thanks for having me. Good meeting you, Gentle.
So Gentle, where's your? I know you like to land Jade, but where else do you like to go?
I'm a lot of the same. And like what he said, if you want to play passive, if you want to just forge, not have to get in early fights, north side's definitely the way to go. Besides crossing, don't drop crossing. And then the whole south side, dude, literally all those places, every single one of those places gets a decent amount of drops. And something that I've noticed, so I like to drop high, I like to get a lot of kills early. That's my goal. So I started off dropping waterfall, and then I started dropping right below waterfall, and I push up to waterfall. But I've stopped doing that. Reason being is I get into fights up there, and then once I get down to the forge, somebody has already been in a fight, and they've already forged, and they already have super good loot. And I lose the fight because of that.
Agreed.
And like I've been doing that with fungal too. Like I've dropped bones a little bit, I've dropped far away, and then moved into fungal, and that happens there too. So I think if you're trying to drop hot, if you're trying to get a lot of kills, you need to drop close to the forge, and you can't let other people get forges off before you.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing that. Yeah, a lot. Like the old strategy used to be to move your way to the forge, so that you could get stuff. But people are with the amount of shards that there are available these days. These chests are allowing everybody to open up. Like you can have a whole team open up stuff and have one person forge stuff, and they have enough to get there, or two people can get a weapon, and those two can clean everybody else. So it's an interesting strategy that I'm seeing, and yeah. That's why I tend to I love the swamp. I love the west side of the map and the bones. That's where I like to go and then move myself, because it's not as hot. I can still forge. It take a little longer time, and then still be at least looted enough to get into the center and not get just smashed. Yeah. So let me show you something. I'm gonna try and bring this up on the stream really fast. Let me get it. Window capture. No. Add a window capture or game capture. Okay, so I'm gonna put this underneath us really fast. Can you see this right now, Gentle?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody, as we were talking about earlier, this is the new map right here, and there's a bug. I'm not going to be telling everybody how to do it, but you can actually get into this game and look at this map. And as you can see, we're right here. Okay, and let's mount up really fast just so people can see what's going on here. So this is all exactly the same. Okay, you've got this same hill that sits right here, but it's actually, it looks a little smaller, a little skinnier. But what you'd expect once you come over this rise is the farm, correct?
Yep.
And then when you hit over here, this is here now.
Wow.
And then when you come over here, and this is like directly the water, but now look, we've got this really cool pathing along here. And this looks like the far north of the map, if you remember correctly, where we used to be able to, you'd come up to the far east of the map. This is where, and then when you come up here, I'll get up here. Now we're at sort of what would be the south of the map. So it looks like they chunked it, added a large piece in between, but this is the end of the map right here.
Wow.
So here, let me get over here.
That was fast.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's very interesting that this map actually exists. Like, you do not build this map just to do a tutorial.
Yeah.
I just don't think you do it. And if you, I'm just going to come over here because it's fairly fast. It's that fast to run across this entire map. But once you get here, there's a bug. Oh wow! So they don't allow you to go any further right now. But I was able to get onto the beach down here. And that over there that you can see is the training grounds. And now you're over here. It's very interesting, and there are no forges. But this is my fun part. When you come around this corner, I just can imagine fighting down here, like running around this. You'd have a great place to like snipe people from over here. But let me get up here. So now as you see where you're at, there's your I think that's the training grounds. I'm pretty sure that is the training grounds. But then look where you're and then look where you're at. And that looks like right there when you come right out of at the north of, or the north fungal, right when the border, fungal up to lumber, like that area. That's what those buildings look like right there.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but it looks to me like they've created another map. And as you can see, it's fully viable. You can get into every building.
Huh. Maybe
like everything you can't. The what's funny is the leap through windows doesn't work though. Just something weird. I found. But yeah, all the buildings are here. They're ready to be loaded up. And there is no, you know how when you first put a map together, you know there's places where you can't go. They busted something. This is perfectly done. It is fully made. I'm gonna get up here really quick for you to see, and then. Oh, there was one place that I was amazed that we could even get up, but. And then as you see, there's a fungal forest. A much smaller version of fungal forest, and what's even cooler is you tell me what you think is missing over here. Okay. So we know this is basically that's that, but there's no you remember the party house?
Oh, yep.
Party house is not there. Then you move through here. This shows we've played this game way too much. But then you walk here, what are you expecting to see?
No forge.
Yeah, the whole forge building's gone.
Wow. Maybe it is like kind of like the thing I was thinking of, instance PvP where there's no forges. You go in with a loadout and you fight.
Yeah.
Like you don't loot.
Yeah, it just looks like it. I don't know what it is. It's just really weird. I couldn't help but stop. Like when I I accidentally broke the game and was able to ride around it. Because what I was trying to do is get pictures, because I noticed while I was flying that it was a smaller map. And then when I found out that I could break it and run around, but there you go. Now you're back where we started. We ran the entire map.
Wow.
So, oh, actually, I'm sorry. This is Swamp. That's we didn't run through Swamp, but yeah, but yeah. So this is Swamp, and there is no actual forge over there, like the golden piece is missing. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just an interesting thing I saw, and maybe it's something future to come.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yes, Donut is now just a health bar. So guys, just to give you sort of the last little bit about we've got before we sign off. So we've talked about this, the things that are coming up in the future. We have the skill tree, it's coming up. There was supposed to be a balance patch. I'm guessing this is it, or part of the balance patch. I don't know. I think they've started it, but I still think there are some places they can go. And weapons with alt abilities and the new weapons, new abilities. These are going to be coming out. I don't know if they'll be coming out soon, but I think the skill tree will probably come out. I think the order, and Donut, what do you? Giant, what do you think? Skill tree, console,
Yeah.
skill tree console / then a week later battle pass.
Yeah, I think it's important to push out these weapons with all abilities and skill tree before console to make sure they're where they need to be, because the console release needs to be perfect.
Yeah,
it needs to be a very clean release. It needs to bring players in and not have them leave. So I think the skill tree and weapon all abilities need to be before console.
Yeah, that's why I keep thinking that HRX is probably going to be the time where a console comes out. I mean, it just sounds like it's the perfect time, or at least the announcement. Because I think there's a good month and a half of work still left to be done.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But we will see soon. And so yeah, that's where we're at. Lastly, we always do a Chris L, the head developer. We've got our wish lists. So Gentle, every single one of the ones in the red, we had actually asked for since the beginning, and each week we check it off when High Res takes care of it for us. So this is our checklist for them. So no, believe it or not, and this is kind of funny. Week 2, I said we need to find a way to resurrect at the Forge.
Really?
And about 2 months later, they came out, or a month and a half later, they were like, "Oh, hey, let's resurrect." Yeah, I think it was the second podcast. Classes back, the movement starting with the movement abilities. I think all of us sort of did that. Remove the SMGs, the timers for resurrection. I was complaining when the resurrection came that you never knew when it was supposed to happen, so we were complaining about that, and that happened. It's all us, John. But the ones that we were looking at is a kill cam, a 5-6 man squad thing that came back where you could all be as part of a group, because the fun of that was it was a lot of fun if you could do it.
Yeah, you could have 6 people,
Yeah, a spectate mode, like you could really spectate a game. Like, hey, Gentle Giant's playing. Maybe you're not everybody, not all of us are streamers. Be able to see your buddy as they play. And custom games where we can create our own custom games, get a whole bunch of people in, like all the streamers get in and just battle each other out, that type of thing. And once and for all, maybe a 1v1 custom game where you're in a small area and you're like, okay, idiot, get your freaking hunter, I'll get my mage or whatever, or my hunter, and we'll go at it, that type of thing.
Right.
So is there anything in here that if you could go and give a wish list to be like, I would like this, High Res, what would you ask for?
More classes.
Oh, that's not, okay. Okay. We're going to put that one right here. More classes. Okay, I'm going to make sure that they know it's from you and not from me. Is that the only thing that you see right now? Because I think a new class is going to be one of the hardest things they're going to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think it would be amazing.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the fact that my engineer is gone, I still cry late at night, shaking in the corner. Where's my boost? You know, but anything else besides a new class?
Maybe like a replay kind of thing. I know Fortnite and PUBG.
Oh
both
yeah,
have it.
yeah. Ooh.
After the game, you can go back and watch your game.
Oh, that's a really nice, and that'd be great for getting. Well, again, we don't worry about clips too much because we can actually just go off of
Right.
Twitch and stuff. But yeah, a lot of people can't do that, and I think that's an absolutely brilliant idea. So we ran a little long. We were going to talk about what happened in the community this week, but what we'll do is we'll do that next week. Giant will probably not be here because we were going to embarrass him, but I think he did that himself last night.
I did.
That was no. I got to say, that what happened last night isn't. It's not just. I mean, you're an amazing streamer, and I love watching you. I love hanging out with you. You're just a great person, but it also is showing how great this community is. Because like I was talking last night, I hated Fortnite because the community was toxic. I hated League of Legends. I left League of Legends because that is the most toxic place on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we are dealing with some of the best humans, best souls, and you being the great person you are, and then this community coming together and just like showering you with love last night. It was like, I don't know if it was just because you're so awesome or if it was the cleavage. I don't know what it was, but this community, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I say this every week, but this community is probably the greatest thing in gaming that I've seen in I don't know how long. What, Nintendo days?
Yeah, I agree, man. Like this game has. I've met so many amazing people, like best friend kind of people, just from this game. And it's been like, and the love that I received last night was, I didn't expect that. That was actually the most insane thing I've ever experienced. 250 subs in one night.
I mean, you were gentle ninja last night, 100%. I mean, I've never seen subscribers go more than that one day of ninja, just bop, 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 bop. That was insane. But no,
it was incredible.
Yeah, so I want to just say to the community, I mean, you guys are just amazing, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the community. I mean, yeah, double heart. I wouldn't be here. Nobody would even utter the word OctoOG if like Giant or Baggins hadn't have hosted me a couple of times and those type of things. And we love to share the love through the community as all. But I mean, it's you guys that make us do this, even play this game. So I just want to thank everybody. And Giant,
I love you all.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have not followed Giant, right beside you, you see Gentle Giant's Twitter and Twitch. Gentle_Giant for Twitch. Gentle_Giant7 for Twitter. Donut's not here, but you know he's LO_Donut_OL for both his Twitter and his Twitch. Me, OctoOG. Kathy Sue is not here. She decided that she wanted to do IRL stuff and didn't want to hang out with the guys tonight, is what she said. So you know her at Kathy Sue, SOO. Everybody, it has been absolutely amazing hanging out with you tonight, and we are going to get out of here, and we shall talk to you next week. Have an amazing night. Just give it a